Okay, good evening. It's the yahrzeit from Rebbe Melech tonight and tomorrow. It's a very auspicious time. And Rebbe Melech wrote in Setel Katan about how important it is to learn Gemara, Rashi, Tosfos every day. So it's in the Hanhagas Adam. So even though we have kind of a strange Gemara here, kind of disgusting subject is how it starts off, but in Torah we have to learn Torah. So it starts off discussing the question of serving an idol by pouring in front of it human waste, or I guess it could be animal waste also, but it doesn't necessarily have to be human waste. But bodily waste, whether it's from human or from animal, and this can be compared. That we said that in order for an idolatrous practice to be a capital offense, it's sinful in any event, but in order to be a capital offense, it's considered takrovis of Avodah Zarah, is considered an actual sacrifice to the idol. Has to be similar to the way that sacrifices were done in our holy temple in Jerusalem. So when we're discussing here, trying to get an answer as to whether or not the stones that are cast at Markolis, that we've been discussing the past two daf, whether those stones are Avodah Zarah, which could have that meaning is an object of worship, which could be nullified, or whether it's takrovis Avodah Zarah, whether it's an object that was offered as a sacrifice in pagan worship, and therefore would be impossible to be nullified, even by a Gentile. A Jew cannot nullify Avodah Zarah, but the takrovis Avodah Zarah, no one can be nullified, because it's considered it's called the zivchei mesim, it's called a dead sacrifice, and so it's compared in many halachic manners to a corpse, and one of them is that the corpse never loses its status as a corpse. So, in comparing that, we compare some other things that might be offered in a sacrificial way. And the question is if this is if this is similar to the mode of worship within the temple or not. And that's the real question that we have. So anyway, Bishlama, Ovid Shel Meimei R'Kulayim, Ikazrika Mishtaberes. So what we said yesterday is that if something is being thrown, sprinkled, in the act of throwing, it breaks into smaller pieces. That is similar to the way it's conducted in the temple with the sprinkling of the blood, the tossing of the blood. So if urine in a chamber pot is being tossed in front of an idol, it's similar to the way blood of the animals that were sacrificed were splattered, so to speak. However, if it's solid waste, the question is that considered to be similar to what happened in the temple with the tossing of the blood that disperses? If it's solid waste, it's not going to disperse in the same manner. So the answer could be that if we're talking specifically about liquid excrement, diarrhea, then it would be Kalim panim, that it would be similar to the tossing of the blood, and would therefore be a capital offense. Lema Katanai. However, it's possible that we can compare this to another argument of the Tanoim. Shochat la chagav. Rabbi Yehuda mechayev v'chachamim potrim. What if someone slaughtered with a knife at the neck a locust in front of an idol? So this is like a shtickle of brisker Torah, but it's already in Shas. The question we have to ask here is, when we say Ke'ein Panim, that it's similar to something that's offered inside of our temple, what do we mean by Ke'ein Panim? Do we mean the action is similar or the offering is similar? Because if the action is similar, if it's a din in the Gavra, or in the Maisa really, if the din in the Gavra, we'll say, so then to shecht a chagav, to slaughter, if it's a law in the person or in the deed that the person is doing, then to slaughter a locust, well, the issue is slaughtering and not what's being slaughtered. If it's in the heftza, if it's in the object, and the object here is the locust, well, locusts, not only locusts were not offered as sacrifice in the temple, but even to eat a kosher locust, we don't shecht it the way we shecht a bird or a mammal. Oh wow, that is some beautiful lightning. So, according to Rabbi Yehuda, it's a din in the Gavra. It's a din in the Maisa, really. It has to do with the person and the action that the person is doing, and he would be chayiv, he would be culpable. He would be liable to punishment. But according to the sages, it's a din in the cheftza, we could say. It's a law in what is being offered, and even though it's a sin, it's certainly a sin to slaughter a locust for to sacrifice it to an idol. There's no question that one is not allowed to do that. And such an action is sinful. However, since locusts were not slaughtered in our temple, and locusts are generally not slaughtered at all, that's not the way that we generally kill a locust. So therefore, although one committed a sin, they would be exempt from any punishment. My love, the hakim fligi, the mar savarbrin ken zvicha. Mar Savar Lemon Ken Zvicha El Ken Panim. So we could say that it's actually a deeper discussion and a totally different issue. When Rabbi Yehuda says that he's chayav for shechting the chagav, for slaughtering the locust, the grasshopper, well, then it's as if one is slaughtering. So it's a method of it's an issue in the method of sacrifice, and so it's similar to sacrificing. Whereas the other opinion of the sages holds that it's not what we call ke'ein zvicha. It's like bringing something as a zevach, as a particularly sacrifice, but it's ke'ein panim. It has to be similar to what's done in the temple. Zvicha, this form of sacrifice is done in the temple, but this is not the way it's done. So it's only to shecht a grasshopper is only similar to bringing a sacrifice to the temple, and so it's not ke'ein panim where you're actually copying the actual deed. So is that what we say? Is that our answer? No. No. Because nobody says that in order to be chayev, in order to be punished, in order to be worthy to be punished, there has to be ke'ein zvicha, that has to be similar to a sacrifice. Ela ke'ein panim. Rather, we require, in order to receive the punishment, to have this, what we call ke'ein panim, similar to that which goes on inside the temple. The shiny chag of hoil with sevarai daim l'tzvar behema, tzavar behema. However, you might argue, Rabbi Yehuda would argue that shechting a grasshopper is ke'ein panim, in a way that meaning shechting a fish would not be, because a grasshopper has a neck and it kind of looks somewhat superficially similar to an animal, to behema, the way its neck is attached to the head, whereas a fish generally don't have a neck, so there's nowhere to shecht it. So one would be chayev according to Rabbi Yehuda for how we're learning Rabbi Yehuda now. One would be punished for slaughtering an animal that looks like a behema, that it has a neck, and that's a place to shecht. I mean, there are other bugs like that too, praying mantis and so forth, that it has a very obvious neck. I probably wouldn't say this with the 17-year locust, the cicada. And certainly not a fish. A fish doesn't have. So then it would be, but according to Yehuda, this aspect would still be there. It would be ke'ein panim, because it has a neck like an animal. Amar, like a mammal. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Rabba, Ravua, Amar Rav. So Rav Nachman and Rabba Ravua, named Rav. Boy, am I tired. Akum she'oiv l'noisab b'makom, shavar makom v'nei chayev, neseres, zorak machkol v'nei chayev and neseres. This is slightly different than how we learned it before. That if the way that a pagan would worship an idol is by shaking a stick in front of it, if the stick breaks, he would be punished. He would be worthy of punishment, and he wouldn't be allowed to use the stick. But if you throw the stick in front of it, he's still chayiv, but he would be allowed to use the stick. Amalei. So then, this is an argument. This is how we started this whole argument with the question of excrement. So Amalei Rav, my shno shavar, the havile ke'ein zvicha, Zarah knami, havile ke'ein zrika. So what difference is it if the stick breaks or not? If you break the stick, it's like a sacrifice, and if you throw the stick, it's like how we throw blood. And like we said with the Indian hair, what the Nazir cuts off his hair, so maybe there's a similarity there as well. So I hope this guy passes me. Oh man, am I tired? I have to get up early tomorrow. Amalei. The answer was no. When you throw blood, it like splatters a little. You need a break. You need a type of throwing that breaks the item. And this doesn't break it. It doesn't make it or break it. Ella me'ata avnei beis merkulas bama yasru. How would the stones in the house of Merkolos, the temple of Merkolos, how would these stones be prohibited? What would make them prohibited? Amalei after the Kashili. So Nachman told Rabbi, I have a question on that too. It seems to be sort of contradictory. Because it's not Kain Zvicha, it's not Kain K'nim. We don't throw rocks in our religion. Certainly not in our temple. I hope I make it home. Already past Bloomingburg. I just make it over the Wurtsboro Hills. I should get out and get some gas. Getting gas in Orange County, it's cheaper. Okay. Oh no. Roads. So I'm Amalei after the Dikashili. I also had a Shaltila Rabbi Bar Avuya. Rabbi Avuya L'chayev Bar L'chia Bar Rav. L'chia Bar Rav L'Rav. Marley Nasik Mal Migdal Akum. So he had a kasha. He asked Rabbi Buya, who asked Chia Bara, who asked, I assume his father, Rav, and Rav told his son, Chia, that the stone that is added to Markos Nasik Migdal Akum. It's like an idol that's a tower idol. Now this, it makes sense according to the opinion that a pagan's idol is immediately prohibited even before it's worshipped. But if, according to the opinion that it's only prohibited once it is worshipped, then it should be permitted to have benefit from this item. So the holy palcha, because it wasn't worshipped yet, Amalei, so said to him, call achas v'achas nasis akum takrevis lachaverta. He said that each stone is considered an idol, and also it's an idol that is offered as a sacrifice to its fellow idols. Yahachi b'Braisa, if that's the case with the Braisa, Yitishrei Amalei, who says that it would be permitted? Yadat, no, lay, zil shakla. So go get it. Oh my goodness. Rav Ashi said, Achas v'achas nasis tekrevis la'atzma, tekrevis l'chaverta. Each one is made both an offering to itself and an offering to the other one. Tanan, so we have a Mishnah, the next Mishnah here. Matzah b'roishai, ksus b'roishai kelim, Matar. If you find on the head of an idol money or clothing or useful items, you're allowed to use them there. They're permitted to derive benefit from. Oh my goodness, I need to maybe get out and walk around a bit. Chile and Avim Atros, Shoshabalam Yenis, Shmanim Slases, Chaldavi Kitzavay, Karev the Gavi Rizbechaser. But anything that is brought in our temple, like grapes, grape clusters, and crowns of sheaves, and wines and oils and fine flour, or anything that's similar to what's offered on our temple, on our altar, also then it's prohibited because it's ke'ein panim. Bishlama yenais shmanu slases ika ke'ein panim. Now, the Gemara as a question says, I know that wine and oil and fine flour was actually offered inside of our temple. The Ika Kein Zvika Mishdabeshes. And it's also like, when you throw something in, it divides into little things. Ela Perchile and Avim Batras Shel Shabbalim. But why are you prohibiting the grape clusters and the crowns made out of wheat sheaves? Loi Ke'ein Panimika. They're not like what we brought in our temple. They can't speak of Shika. And they're not something that if you toss it, it'll break up into pieces like the blood that was splattered in the temple to get gas. So, Amar Rava, Amar Ula, Rava said the name of Ula, going Shabbatzron Tchila Lakach. The answer is if when the grapes were harvested, they had in mind for a pagan use. Amar Rabbi Abau, Amar Rabbi Yechanan, Ros and Rabbi Yechanan Benayan, Zavech Behema Balas Mum, La'akum, Shu Pater. Where do we derive that if someone would offer a blemished animal, which we would not bring in our temple, as a sacrifice to a pagan god, to a pagan deity, which obviously not allowed to do, but one would be pater, one would not receive punishment for that. Shnemar Zoveach Elohim Yechra Bilti Ladonai Levadoi. But anybody who offers a sacrifice to false gods will be banned, will be excommunicated, unless the only one you can bring a sacrifice to is to the Lord alone, to God. To Him you can bring sacrifice, and to all the false gods one may not. By Asr Terra Elokate Panim. From that verse, in Exodus 22, we learn that the Torah the outright prohibits idolatry that is similar to our divine service in our holy temple in Jerusalem. Oh my goodness, why am I so tired? Had a long day, difficult day. Havi barava b'mai, alema b'dokin, sheba'ayin. So what are we talking about here? Offering a sacrifice to to false gods and so forth, and the animals and so forth. So he said, and if it's if it has a mum, if it has a blemish, then it would be disqualified from our temple, and it would be disqualified. It would actually make you maybe not you, but I am so tired. So maybe what kind of blemish was this woman looking for? What kind of blemish? What am I saying this one? What kind of blemish would be permitted for a Gentile and prohibited for a Jew? And maybe some kind of a cataract in the eye. Because a Jew is not allowed to bring such a sacrifice, but a Gentile could bring such a sacrifice with a cataract in the eye. There's an offering to the true God. Yeah, but not in our temple. It would have to be on a private bama. But it would be a permitted form of worship. Allah, so rather we say is Mechuser Aver, someone who is missing, the animal is missing a whole limb. That's a real one. Rabbi Eliezer, Damer, Rabbi Elazar, Nayan, where do we understand the Gentiles not allowed to bring an animal for sacrifice if it has such a major form, a major blemish as a missing limb? Shnam we call chai, we call basar, Shnayim we call tavil tevel achyos. Itach, that from all the animals, from all flesh, 2 of each, you should bring to the ark to be kept alive with you. Oh my. Amar Torah Tavoy Behema Shechayin Reish Evar Shalah. So, you see the Chomer Torah Havo V'Hema Shechen Rishivam Shalah. It says in Genesis 6, from all the animals, all that's alive, 1,200 animals altogether, you should bring to the temple. Torah Havei Mashav Chayin Rashi Varchala Hai Yid Lay Yid Shaifa. I am way too tired to do this. So might want to say that this comes only to exclude the treifa, the animal which has a terminal illness. So Zarah nafka. So no, it says it has to keep the children well, keep the babies alive. That's where he comes from. Hanicha mandam or treifa in the lettuce. So that makes sense according to the opinion. The treifa cannot beget children. Ella manda amar treifa any lettuce. Manda amar treifa lettuce Mike Lemaimer. That's only according to the opinion that an animal with a terminal disease could not beget children, but according to the opinion they can. So what are we going to say? Amar Kra, Scripture said, Itach bedu'anach. It said you should be with you. They should be like Rashi. No, not like Rashi. I am so tired. I'm saying nonsense. That it's like you. Dilma Shanach Kufei Treifa Hava Shanoyach Kufei Treifa Haya. But maybe Noah himself was a treifa. We learned this already, this sugya. Tamim Ksivvei, it says he was perfect. Maybe so that it can't be a treifa. So Tamim Ksivvei. Maybe Noach himself was a treifa. No, it says he was perfect. Dilma Tamim Drachav, maybe he's perfect in his ways. Tzaddik Sivvei. So then, it's also written that he's a tzaddik. So Dilma Tamim B'Drachav Tzaddik B'Masav. Maybe he was perfect in his paths and he was righteous in his deeds. Loi Matzis Amrat. So we don't find it said some answer to this. No one says that Noah had a terminal disease. The I think Noah was like Matzis Amras the Nech Gufei Treifa. So if you think that Noah was a treifa, so then when God says like you, did he mean the treifas? That doesn't make sense. I'll Shleiman lay tile, so that means he wouldn't bring in the ones that are healthy. Hashta the nafka itach lachye Zarah lama itach lachye Zarah lama. So if we're learning that it's with you, so what do we learn from? Why do we need the verse to say to keep the seed alive? Ime itach havim in the savosa ba'alma. That is in you. I command you. So then it's just a commandment alone. A filozakin, a filosaurus. You might think you could bring an old animal or a sterile animal. Kamash Malan Achi Zarah. So that's why it has to say keep seed alive. Amar Rabbi Elazar. Manayan l'sheichet behemel Markolis Shuchayev. Elazar asked the following question. Markolis was not worshipped by shechting animals, it was worshipped by throwing rocks. But what if someone would shecht an animal as a devotion, would slaughter the animal as a sacrifice to Markolis? That's not the way he's worshipped, but that's a normal way of worship in other ways. So why would he be guilty? It says they should no longer offer their sacrifices to satyrs, to goat demons. Eno Inyan Likadarka, if this is not a concept with the regular way of worship, Dichsiv Echa Yavdu Hagoyim Ha'elas Eloheihem, like you might, it says in the Torah, you might go and ask, how did these pagans, how did these Gentiles serve their gods, and people might want to copy them. Taneu Inyan Salai Kedarka. I should have been home by now. So it should answer also when it's not the regular way to worship this idol. Here, this is to hear where it was brought. Hi, Mikbayale, this one. They have the answer. Tanya. Learn in a Brisa. I guess I'm gonna finish this video now and make a Brisa separate. Make the second comment a separate video. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Like, share, and subscribe. Step 51.